The Queen is an understable distance driver that's easy to throw from Westside Discs. Let's take a look. Let's start with the feel of the Queen. So the Queen is a high-speed distance driver, and you'd expect it to have a wider rim than it does, but it's got a rim width that I would say is similar to like an 11 or a 12 speed, even though it's listed at 14 here. I don't think that means that it flies any slower. I think that means it's a little bit easier to hold while still being that faster speed so it can go just as far. It's not super deep. It's definitely a good rim if you have smaller hands, but I generally have fairly medium hands. I don't fall into the small hands or the big hands category, and I didn't have any problem gripping this. A quick note is that the nose is sort of rounded. It doesn't feel like it has a very sharp edge to the nose like some drivers do, and I'm not saying that's going to make it any less aerodynamic. It's just a little bit more comfortable for me to grip because it fits better into this part of my pointer finger here. As far as the plastic, my Queen here is in the tournament plastic. This plastic is going to be fairly grippy and very durable. It's not going to fly quite as overstable as the same disc in the VIP plastic or maybe the Moonshine plastic, but it is going to fly very true to its flight ratings. And speaking of flight ratings, the flight ratings on the Queen is a speed 14, a glide 5, a turn of -2, and a fade of 2. And I would say those are fairly accurate, but maybe it has a little bit more turn and a little bit less fade depending on who's throwing it. For me, the Queen on a Hyzer release would flip up to flat and glide fairly far to the right before just settling down, maybe fading out a little bit if I gave it enough height. So it was really great for those Hyzer flip shots. If I needed something that I could power down on and get a nice straight shot out of, that's going to be a great disc for that. I can see a lot of lower arm speeds who are going to like this disc for those little bit of Hyzer flips that carry with a ton of glide. Again, that 5 glide is very high, and this disc does like to stay in the air. On a flat release, I could throw this disc up nice and high and trust it to hold to the right the whole way. It is an understable distance driver, so it is going to be fairly easy to access that turn and glide all the way over to the right. And then on an Anheuser release, this disc is pretty much going to be a roller for me, and I think some lower arm speeds might not have too much trouble trying to roll this disc as well. It's a great roller if you have a little bit of experience with rollers and you're looking to step up to something a little bit faster. The Queen is going to be a fantastic disc for that, just because it is that understable disc that's going to have that turn at the beginning of its flight, so it's going to be easy to get it down on the correct angle. Now, powered up, I really wasn't able to throw this disc as hard as I absolutely could because I wasn't able to control my angles well enough at that power, so the disc was going to turn too much and it became a little bit unreliable for me. So I probably wouldn't use this disc in anything but a tailwind for a huge distance shot, but powered down, this disc actually flew really nicely. Even when I threw it at 60 or 70% power, it still had a nice turn. It wasn't hard to get it to flip up to flat and fly very straight. And again, the glide on this disc is just insane. Even when I didn't try to throw it very hard, I found it going 370 feet, 380 feet, just because it liked to stay in the air and keep carrying forward. So that's what I think about the Queen. Let me know what you think about the Queen in the comments down below. Also, let me know what other Westside discs you'd like me to review. I'm actually going to pick my favorite comment from down below and give away this 174 tournament plastic Queen. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next disc review, and I'll leave you with an excerpt from the English translation of the Kalevala about the Queen.
Lowy, hostess of the Northland, heard the word in Sariola, heard the dews with ears of envy, that Wainola lives and prospers, that Osmoinen's wealth increases. Through the ruins of the Sampo, ruins of the lid in colors. Thereupon her wrath she kindled, well considered, long reflected, how she might prepare destruction for the people of Wainola, for the tribes of Kalevala.